appreciate the introduction and the time. And really, I want to say thanks to the Studer folks for putting this together. As Janet mentioned, I've been a partner with them for over 10 years now, and have always said when I've spoke with them and other places that their work with me and with the teams I've worked with has been transformational. So I really appreciate that. It's intimidating to be in here. I know so many people from the past conferences of people from Menominee Falls, where I've been working for the past 10 years, people from my new team here in Wauwatosa. So it's always hard to speak to your colleagues. And I just want to say a shout out, and the people I'm most nervous to present to are the two associate principals, Leah and Adam, who I'm working with now, Leah Claymore and Adam Bold. I'm working close with them as their associate principals while I'm the principal here. They're going to listen to this, and they already know if what I'm saying is BS or not. And I just want to thank them for taking me in. My intention today is to speak from my experiences and share some thoughts on steps that you might take to create the conditions that are to support a strong collaborative culture in your school. I'm humbled that people have mentioned our work in Menominee Falls over the past 10 years, and I've really been moved to see the teams who have shown their work and demonstrated their work, and thanks for the kind words about our connection. We've always learned more from you. I'm really in a unique spot in my career right now where I've stepped back towards students from a superintendent role to a principal role, and I'm excited about that, but I'm also very much aware of the phrase conscious incompetence. To make a move like that to a new district where you don't know the people and the work feels clunky again, the pace of the high school and all of that, it's been moving. It's really been a challenge for me to think about, and I'm not thinking about the structures and all of those things that we've had done at Menominee Falls and built. What I'm thinking about is the culture. But I'll step back even further than that. That in order to have an impact on a place, what I really needed to do over the past 6 months, and especially over the past 6 weeks, is do a deep dive into my own head and heart, which is pretty scary for those who know me, but really get reconnected back to my purpose. We know that we can't be good to anyone. We can't serve anyone until we serve ourselves. So in the process of considering a move and making a move and interviewing, I'd gone back and I looked at this personal mission that I'd written 10 years ago and realized it largely has not changed. That is what I put in my personal mission, I think, in grad work, and then used when I applied at Menominee Falls. It still matters. And then what I've really dug into over the past several months, and especially those weeks when I was making this transition, is to think about my own professional needs that I have. And I say this because as I transition, you have every opportunity to change and be changed by the work because you're getting pulled in so many directions. So I really wanted to reflect on who am I, what matters to me, and what will not change no matter where I go or what role I may play. And these things matter, and especially those professional needs of wanting to be in a place where I had impact, wanted to be collaborative, and want to have joy in that work. I've always had those things everywhere I've been, in every position. And I'll even say of the past 4 years, as hard as it was the most rewarding work that I've ever done because of the people I did it with, because of the impact that we had and how we collaborated. I've been at this for 26 years. That's feels like a long time. Sorry, I gotta get my clicker to work. 10 years ago, I made my change to Menominee Falls, and I'll just really quickly say the needs in Menominee Falls at the time when we surveyed were exactly the same as the needs as I transition now, and I would expect 10 years from now if I transition to a new place in a high school. It was staff morale, too many initiatives, and student behavior, right? The work is always the work. The work always matters. Now, I will say what it feels like right now is it's those three things on steroids based on everything that we've have gone through recently. But we really narrowed down our focus in Menominee Falls to, we knew we had to get culture right and build that culture and create a culture that was conducive to collaboration. We wanted to increase rigor, so we were focusing on AP participation, and we had career academies that were newly formed, and we wanted to increase participation. And I just share all of those things because I'm proud of the work we did, the people we did it with. We had success in all of those areas because we created the conditions for improvement. So that's my focus as I transition, is not the structures, but how do we build the trust, the commitment, the capabilities of everyone at Tosa West to work collaboratively to improve outcomes and experience for our students so that they are prepared to live the lives that they imagine. Like, that's how we're thinking about, that's how I think about the work. That's what I'm trying to do. That's the place I want to work in. And knowing, having connected with Leah and Adam, you see that that's the work that they do, that they want to lead and they want to be a part of. So it just feels really exciting to do that and to be a part of that. So how do you do that? What's significant in those first days and months to create those conditions where you can then follow with the structure and the work that will matter for kids? As urgent as we're feeling at this moment in time, when we have this, we're bleeding people. Like, we're checking our emails every few hours to see, have we gained a person or lost a person? So you feel this sense of urgency. We know that students have struggled in the past several years. We know that staff morale is low. We know that students, because of mental health issues or other headwinds that they have, that their behaviors have been difficult to manage for them and created conditions in our school. So we have this need to, we've got to improve as fast as possible. And our immediate reaction is, we've got to put structures in place and we've got to build all of these things. And it's not true at all. The notes for this speech are on the banners behind me. It absolutely has to start with the people. It has to continue with that sense of service. And it has to be all about that culture. So I'm thinking strategically, but I'm acting on the culture. I think that's what's critical for us. So what are those things that we have to do? I'm not thinking 2 years down the road. I'm not thinking a year down the road. I've said this to our team several times. We talk about this. It's really about those next 60 days. What is it that we have to do right now? And here's a few thoughts that we have. You got to lead with vision and intention. So we're not going to do a big activity where we create a vision statement, but I've got my own personal mission. Adam and Leah have their personal mission. We have our vision. They combine, they come together. So it's how we talk about those things that matters so much to the people that we lead. It's not the big things we do. It's what questions do we answer? How do we answer them? How do we treat people? Just constantly keeping that in front of all of our people. We have to build credibility. That's why I say you can't start with the structures. I've been honored about the kind things that people have said about the work I've been a part of for the past 10 years. Nobody at Wauwatosa West cares about that. What they care about is, what does the work look like and feel like over the next 60 days? The opener to school doesn't have to be perfect, but boy, it sure would be a lot easier if it was. They really want to see that we have a system, that we can lead with processes, that we have a plan, that we're going to deal with the things that matter to them. We have to balance decisiveness with collaboration. So people want to have trust and faith that if something happens, I can make a decision, that we can be decisive when we need to, that we'll make the decisions that have to be made in the moment. But just as important, more important, is they see that we're willing to be collaborative, that we want to be collaborative, that we want their voice in the work at every moment. So we have to develop a plan of improvement for our school, right? A school improvement plan. I can't do that until the people are together and in the room and we're building it together. Otherwise, I can come in with a beautiful plan and a beautiful structure, and I can have a calendar on how we're going to use our collaborative time. It will all fail most certainly, if we do it that way. So we began with check-ins. I began with meeting as many people as I can possibly meet, asking them those key questions. What's going well? What are the barriers? And then the most important piece, who in this building matters? Who's making a difference for you? Who connects with kids? Who's moving the needle? Because that's what we have to do, is we have to build on those things. There's lots of mythology out there about Wauwatosa West and what we need and what it felt like and what sort of performance there was and all of these pieces out there. But what I've learned is there's a hell of a lot of good work there. There's a lot of great people doing great work, moving the needle. I'm exceptionally lucky that 2 of them decided to stay and lead with me, because they've been in that mythology and they've heard those things said about our place, but they stayed because they're committed, and that's what we have to build on. So it is already sending out to people I don't even know celebrations. Hey, I met with so-and-so, and they just told me that you make a difference in this place. And that re-recruitment of how can we create this aura to be that place where everybody wants to work, because they know we're going to work hard for kids, we're going to make a difference for kids, and we're going to laugh like hell while we do it. We talk a lot in education right now about efficacy, right? It shocked me when I first started to see this word come up, and I remember some of the people from the falls, we were reading a book on efficacy, like, people are actually doing the work, and they don't believe they can make a difference. I might be too simple. I never imagined that I would do something for a career and it wouldn't make a difference. But that's the reality we live in. That's the reality we created, of people haven't felt the flywheel moving. And that's the work that we have to do. So I want to prove efficacy with early wins. So we want to find the work that matters to the people who are doing the work, who all went into education to make a difference for kids. Right? We all went into this because we want to make that difference. Kids have aspirations, families have aspirations for their kids. We wanted to be those educators that people had in their lives. And we can make them believe if we get some early wins, if we demonstrate through the improvement structure in a small scale, that, if we do things this way, if we collaborate in this way, if we have clear goals and some measures to do this, look what we did in the first 60 days. We reduced fights. We reduced referrals. We're feeling better about the work. We're feeling better about one another. So those are the things that I want to start with. I've not even used the words continuous improvement. I was intentional through the application process of I am not going to be that guy that just brings in a system and brings in a framework and brings in scorecards and dashboards and accountability and goals until they understand what those things mean to me as a leader and to us as leaders. Then when they believe and they see the power in it through things that matter to them and their students, then we'll build that and we'll just create another model where everyone can come and watch. And we hope you're there. I'm certainly learning from watching your story. So that's my 15 minutes of fame. Sue, who's been my boss for a long time, says stop. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity today.